When it comes to all these different electronic devices, do you ever wonder how they're affecting your eyes? Or better yet, your kids' eyes, because they seem to be on them almost all the time. Well, since August is Children's Eye Health and Safety Month, Dr. Matthew Palmer, optometrist with the Southwestern Eye Center, you're joining us this morning and you've got some tips for us. And you know, I never even put so much thought into the fact that these electronic devices could be bothering and harmful to our eyes, but they are.
They do. When kids, or even myself or adults, when we use electronic devices, it's not looking in the distance, it's crouched over our iPad, or looking at a little phone, checking Facebook. But our kids, that's where a lot of the eye strain and the problems are happening right now.
I'm wondering too, because just recently, well, about the last year or so, I started wearing glasses, and I'm wondering if that's had an effect with the amount of time that I'm spending on my phone or in front of a computer screen, not to mention what's happening with the kids.
Yeah, they do. When we're using the digital devices, screens in particular, our eyes can't focus accurately on the screen, and so your eyes are spasming a little bit, forward and backwards, causing that eye strain, which causes you to need a little bit more help for reading and other things like that.
How long should our kids be viewing these electronic devices? I mean, easier said than done, right?
Sure. There was a study that said that kids actually report about 30% more usage of electronics than the parents do. But, the biggest thing is being able to take breaks in between.
Yeah, and I know you have some tips to tell everybody this morning of how we can protect our eyes when it comes to these devices. What do you suggest?
So the 20-20 rule, no pun with the vision, but every 20 minutes, take about 20 seconds to get up, look away, look off and out the window, and just take that break. Even if you're in a cubicle, make sure every 20 minutes you get up, look at the clock across the room, and that gives your eyes a chance to relax and not stay in that spasmed state.
Okay, and what about, is there a glare or something if you sit by a window?
Yeah,
that has an effect as well?
It does. Any workspace with the monitors, you want to make sure we don't have glare off the monitors, so no windows behind us, no windows in front of us. And make sure that the top of the monitors are at our eye level. So we're looking slightly down, we're not looking up, we're not looking too far down like if your laptop was on your lap.
And I was reading too that so many times when we are looking at a screen that we blink less.
7 times less. And that alone can cause not only a decrease in vision, but dry eyes as well.
But how do you know if you have dry eye? Are you starting to rub them? What happens there?
Well, sometimes it's dry and scratchy and irritated, but other times your eyes are watering. Well, it's because your eyes are irritated and the eye is trying to respond to the dry surface that it has.
Well, and going back to the kids too, the more that they touch their eyes, and if they're at school, I mean, the memos are coming home, pink eye,
yeah.
So then that's going to lead to that too.
Definitely. So, you can use artificial tears if needed, but be honest with you, just taking those quick breaks help you just naturally blink and be able to recover a little bit better with dry eyes.
How about for those of us who look at our electronic device and that's the last thing that we see before we go to bed at night? Does that have an effect on maybe our sleep patterns or anything like that?
It can. I'm not an expert with the sleep patterns necessarily, but when we have such a long period of time right before bed where we're locked in and focusing, and that's when we go to sleep. Don't look up. Even watching TV is a little bit better because it's in the distance.
Yeah.
But it's not good to be able to have that close, near focus for prolonged periods of time.
And for the people who wear contacts, how do all these devices affect their eyes? Should they be wearing contacts?
So the contact lenses, the biggest thing is dryness. As you're using any digital device, reading, or any digital screen, you're going to be blinking less and causing dryness, and the contacts themselves can exacerbate the dryness as well.
Okay, so going back to the tips, you're saying every 20 minutes just kind of take a break, walk away, give your eyes some time to just kind of refocus. And what about font size with like your computer, or is black the right color to use? Should I be maybe switching my font to like a blue or something like that? Will that help or not really?
Black on white is the best. So the Kindle Paperwhite is a perfect example, or the e-ink. Those are great because they actually provide a fixed point where your eyes can focus on. But you want to make sure you don't have too much illumination on the monitor or too little, because those will cause a little bit more glare problems with your vision.
The glare and the squinting and the, okay.
Yeah. But there's also the advantage, with these digital devices, we can quickly expand the print. As we're having a hard time reading, we can just quickly enlarge it a little bit and help us continue to be more efficient.
It's just a little bit smoother. When it comes to checking our kids' vision, how often should we get it checked?
You know, at least by age 3. We want, when preschool starts becoming a question, they're starting to enter preschool, we want to make sure there's no eye problems. If you can do it earlier, great. But most definitely, before they go into kindergarten, you have to get your eyes checked.
And should you do it once a year, twice a year?
Go once a year right now, and if the doctor says, hey, the eyes are doing great, no family history, no problems like that, and they say twice a year, that's fantastic. But you know, once a year is a good standard rule of thumb.
And what are some of the signs that may be showing up that may urge you to take your child to get their eyes tested?
Any complaint from the teacher, I'm squinting at the board, or aversion to reading. If they really can't read for a long period of time, it could be because they're straining to read and they're having a hard time. So any reading issues or any distance viewing, or they're squinting, they're scooting up to the TV, wanting to sit in the front of the class.
The blurriness, yeah, something right in front of you and they can't read it.
Yes.
Okay, terrific information, Doctor. And if you would like to know more about how you can help your vision and check into some more of these electronic devices and what you can do, you can always go to swi.com. Great information. We'll be right back with more of the Morning Scramble.